Hey, what's up, Kraken fans? Thanks for being here. Late night Kraken versus Predators post-game recap here for you. Game 2 of the season in the books. Both teams came in hungry tonight for a win, but Nashville prevails in this one pretty convincingly, in my opinion. But we're going to talk about it here. My name's Mike, Sasquatch NHL. It's great to have you back. If you are a returning viewer, if you're a new viewer, thanks for being here. Check things out. Hit that like button on the stream if you're enjoying the show. But bringing you guys another live episode, Postgame Rapid Reaction, a little bit delayed tonight. I was doing this thing called exercise. I know, shocking, right? But had to push things back just a little bit. But nonetheless, wanted to get on here, share my thoughts. I like to do that after the games. And, you know, I have a few thoughts I want to share. I know you guys might as well, whether you're in the comments tonight in the live chat, or maybe tomorrow in the replay in the comments as well. Looks like Spartan's here. What's up, Spartan? How are you doing? Great to have you on the stream tonight. And, share your thoughts. Would love to hear what you thought about the game tonight. And we're gonna go through it. Gonna give you that recap like we do on the channel pretty regularly here at Sasquatch NHL. But let's talk about it. The Kraken, a little bit of a stumble out of the gate. I was kind of hoping for about 500 here or so record over the first week. But I don't know. We'll see. I don't really like how these games have transpired so far, but I'm going to be patient. I think we all need to. I posted over on Twitter, is the sky falling? I don't think it is just yet. We're not going to be firing any coaches here in the first week or anything like that, but let's hear from you guys. In the chat, I want to know, this has been a hot topic over on Twitter. Xfinity made the decision to move Root into the Ultimate package. So tonight's poll question, are you going to upgrade on Xfinity to that Ultimate package, or are you going to switch or do something completely different? So far the votes looks like Fubo is the answer, and ESPN Plus with maybe a VPN setup or something like that. But or in the comments, let me know if you have a different approach. But it's been pretty hot over on X.com. People not too happy with the decision, kind of blaming both sides of the equation there, and I can't say I disagree. So let's talk about that a little bit throughout the night. Not going to be too long tonight. It's late, but I did want to hop on and share my thoughts. Stradic, good to see him in the chat as well, says, hey, at least the PK is okay, right? And, maybe you have to lean on that a little bit. Grubauer, they lean on him a lot tonight. We'll talk about that in the recap and the breakdown. But the power play, let's get to that in just a minute. Stradic says, also, I miss Sprong and Donato. They often added that offensive spark in games just like that one, and that's a great comment. Completely agree. We're gonna have to see how these other guys, how the chemistry develops, and who's gonna step up. When the big guns aren't scoring, you're gonna need that depth scoring to come through. And we've talked about, the R word, regression. We've been worried about it, and I think it's kind of present here over the first couple of games. They've only gotten one goal. But let's look at the setup a little bit. Thanks again for tuning in, you guys. It's awesome. It's awesome to be able to do this and have the opportunity to jump on and the equipment to be able to do it. So that it means a lot to me for you guys to be here and kind of share your thoughts. How are we feeling? A little temperature check. It's only 2 games. We're gonna be okay. But let's talk about the things we are concerned about and maybe some positives as well. I know Jim loves to do that. He loves the positive takeaways. But anyhow, let's get into the game day setup just a little bit. Going to go through tonight. We're going to give you that quick recap, breakdown, story of the game, tell you what I saw go down. Going to set up the roster just a little bit. Some changes tonight with Brandon Tanev out. We're also going to look at the stats. Not too impressive from Seattle. The 3 stars are all Nashville Predators, and that's no fun to tell all the 3 stars from the other team, but we have to do it. And of course, it sounds like something falling down in the other. I think Nicole's working on something in there, but I better go quick and go help her. That's probably what's going to need to happen here. But of course, chat with you guys here as we go through the show. Let's take a couple of comments here. Looks like Ty's here as well. Thanks for being here, Ty. Ty says the boys come out fast, exactly, and then fall flat in the second. I haven't figured out if it's the team's adjusting or the legs going. Maybe give that 4th line some minutes. I don't know. I do think maybe they need to churn those lines just a little bit quicker, but it's hard to get chemistry going unless you're on the ice, so maybe there's a little bit of that. But yeah, I want to see crisper line changes, a little bit more urgency across the board, and maybe a steadier start. We don't need to have that big adrenaline push and then the dump that happened as we got into the second period there. Gru is definitely a positive, Stradic, and thanks for pointing that out. Obviously, he was huge throughout the night, kept him in the game the entire time. Nothing but good things to say about Gru. Okay, so I talked in the very first episode for the first game, some of my guidelines, and it's going to be tricky to stick to these. I'm going to be honest, but my 3 things that I said was, first of all, I'm not going to judge the power play for at least 2 weeks. Now, I know that's a long time, and I don't like what I'm seeing either over the first couple of games, but I'm going to be stubborn about this. Let's let it develop. I think that there is potential there. I do like some of the new looks. Tonight, they only had 2 opportunities, and obviously they yielded a shorthanded goal, so that's not good. But I'm not going to judge it just yet. I'm going to stay patient, but grumpy. I can be grumpy and patient at the same time, but let's give it a little bit more time. We'll see. We got number 2, remain calm. We're going to expect things to be a little bit sloppy and inconsistent early. I didn't really like the drop-off, though. That's not consistent to me. I want to see more of a 60-minute effort throughout the evening, so we're not going to fire any coaches just yet. Number 3, regression. We're going to keep talking about it, and we're going to have ways to overcome it here early parts of the season. And as we go on, they're going to have to figure out a way to overcome some of the statistical things that are going to happen as far as scoring goes. It's just, there's no way around it. They're not going to score as many goals as they did last year. That's my opinion. But I think it's probably the way it's going to go. Stratic, commenting on the television situation, says DirecTV is also not so great of an option. We switched from Fubo to DirecTV last playoffs and weren't impressed. DirecTV even less compelling. Now that I've heard you can't get TNT on its own now. Oh, now that you can get TNT on its own through Max. So a few different options. It's just tricky because you end up with 3-4 different ways. And maybe, for people that are more tech savvy or able to kind of maneuver that, great. But it gets really difficult for people, especially like older people that aren't as tech savvy and don't have the patience to jump through hoops and figure all this out. It's really difficult. And at the end of the day, a lot of people just want to watch the game. I listened to a good portion of it tonight because I was working on something before I went to do some volleyball. But yeah, I don't know. I like listening to the game every now and then, so I do that anyways. But maybe that's another alternative for people. But the radio broadcast, they always do a great job over there. Okay, let's keep moving here because I don't want to start rambling too much about that. But I do want to keep hearing your thoughts about it. And it looks like mainly the results so far, not a lot of votes, but people are not going to upgrade on Xfinity. 50% of the vote to Fubo and 50% to ESPN+. So let's see what happens. Stratic says, I think so anyway. This is way too complicated to just get all the games. Yeah, I know. And we talk about this same debate every year, it feels like. And it feels like it's getting harder. I'm not sure how, but somehow it is. Who knows? Okay, quick setup here. Again, would love to hear what you guys' thoughts are on the game. 3 stars, if you have any, for the Kraken. I don't think any of the stars should have gone to the Kraken, except for Grubauer. He was fantastic and hit that pull. Also, hit the like button if you haven't already and you're enjoying the show. But Nashville, 42-32-8 last year, 5th in the Central Division. They missed the playoffs. They opened the season Tuesday with a loss to Tampa Bay, so tough draw for them in the first game. Ryan O'Reilly, a big addition this offseason. He scored a goal in that first game, and I thought he looked pretty good tonight. Preds kind of trying to rejuvenate their roster a little bit, add some scoring. Barry Trotz, their longtime coach, comes back to the organization and is now their general manager. And you've got a new coach, Andrew Burnett, his first season as coach for the Predators. So a lot of center talent that's kind of young and developing there and trying to kind of rejuvenate and revitalize that roster and see what they can do this year. And I thought they looked pretty good tonight. Ty says, I use Fubo, so I have Seahawks as well. It's not 100% coverage, but having the Root broadcast is a huge positive. I won't do Fubo without Root. I do have another solution I'll send you. Yeah, I think we all have that other solution. It's like we just don't want to have to use it. And unfortunately, I think a lot of people have to go to that. Kraken on the other side of things here coming in, looking for win number 1. They did lose to Vegas, a tough matchup there in the first game on Tuesday, 4-1. So we've only scored 1 goal here in 2 games. Eli Tolvanen making his return to Nashville. That's always kind of a cool storyline. And of course, Ty Cartier injected into the lineup for injured Brandon Turbo Tanev. Hopefully he's going to be better soon. But Cartier getting his first regular season game ever, despite his debut in the playoffs and a fantastic debut at that. But this was his first ever regular season game. So congrats to Ty Cartier. He got to do that, skate around, that lap around the ice in warm-ups by himself. That's tradition and that was cool to see that happen as well. So quick look at the roster there as I'm talking. Grubauer gets the go again tonight, and you can see down at the bottom, Megna a scratch, Tanev with the injury, and it doesn't sound like they didn't say lower body, they just said upper body, so hopefully no fallout with the knee or the ankle, because he did kind of turn it awkwardly when he got hit at center ice. Brett Howden also suspended 2 games for that hit on Turbo, and I think that was about right. 2 games was just about right. I don't think Howden had any prior history, but that's a hit you don't want in the game. What's up, Cynthia? Says Grubauer was at playoff caliber these last 2 games. Feel like the Kraken lost all their chemistry from last season. The only good hope I had was on the last power play when they got 5 shots on goal. Right, and that's good. You don't see them giving up, and that's what you want. But I kind of wanted to see more energy in the second period, and they just looked a little bit shook after that shorthanded goal they gave up. But Cynthia, thanks for being here. And it's going to take a little bit of time to redevelop that chemistry. We shuffled a lot of guys in the bottom 6. But that third line, I want to see a little bit more from Bjorky. He's had time to kind of settle in. Burakovsky coming back from his injury. So we'll see. Let's just give it a little bit of time. But yeah, I'm kind of like you guys. I'm grumpy about it, but I'm going to try to stay patient here as we get into the first week or 2 of the season, see what we can do. Also, these road games, going out on the road first thing in the season, that's going to be tough. You go to Vegas, Stanley Cup champion. You go across the country to Nashville. Right, then you got to go to St. Louis. So these are all tough markets to play in. Not easy to win in the NHL. And I think I was talking with Jim. I was saying I hope this could just be a 500 start here over the first week or so. But let's see. Let's see how they respond on Saturday. Kind of lick your wounds a little bit. Get back at it. Ty says, I'd love to have a solution I could pay for and be said. It's starting to become a thing with other teams in sports. Yes, you might see a direct-to-consumer option. We've heard rumors about it. They've tried a few different setups with other, DirecTV, etc., but nothing just yet. I think that the investment infrastructure-wise is never cheap for these regional sports networks to go all in with the DTC option. Bally Sports, obviously, they've had their issues, their troubles. We talked about this on the channel last year. Go check out that interview with Jeff Baker that I did here, by the way. He's got a lot of years of experience. Maybe not the opinion people always want to hear, but it was a great conversation. And that was last spring we talked about this when the announcement that Bally Sports was going to potentially go bankrupt, and they're going through it right now. So something to keep an eye on as we keep going. But poll results so far, we're going to look at that, and then we're going to get into the recap for tonight. It looks like ESPN Plus with the VPN or without is polling ahead 60% in the poll. Not a ton of votes, but that's okay. We don't have to worry about that. So thanks, guys, for being here. Let's get into the recap. Going to break the game down for you. Tell the story real quick. It's not a good story. It's not a fun story I want to tell. It's really, I guess it's kind of a sad bedtime story. It's a late night, sad bedtime story for you guys. About how the Kraken lost a game in Nashville. So we start the first period, Grubauer back in net. Juuse Saros goes for the Predators, and the Kraken, good pressure, good jump in their step, I thought, early on. Pretty good, crisp passing in the offensive zone, cycling around. I thought both teams looked pretty energized right out of the gate. About 5 minutes in, Nashville, little fumble behind their net. Cartier gets a chance. They keep out of here. Kraken, they're cooking in the zone a little bit. They got the gas on the pedal. Yamamoto a shot. Vince Dunn tries to bury the rebound there, but Saros on top of things early. The Kraken were activating their defense a little bit there in the first period, trying to be aggressive, and they did seem to get a large portion of the high quality, the dangerous chances that you want through that first period. Initially, they were behind on the shot clock. As the period went on, though, they kind of caught back up. So not too bad. We go all the way down, 6:09 left in the first, and Grubauer, huge save off the blocker. And Grubauer was just excellent all night. Stradek says, yeah, next game is huge. I would agree. I want a good showing in the next game. I don't want this first period burst and then fall off the map. We're going to look at the game flow here too. I think Allison tweeted this as well, so I've got the graphic for that. We'll look at that during the stats. All right, so Kraken, they take a penalty at the end of the first period. That was Dumoulin. So we're short to start the second. No scoring in the first, by the way, no goals. So we go to the second period now. And just as we get into that period, Alexiak flips the puck out of play. That's going to be a delay of game. So Kraken going to go 2 men short. Really key sequence there. But crisis averted. And Striatic already pointed this out. Penalty kill has been just fine. So if we could just get our power play, just a little bit of something out of the power play. 11:05 left in the second. Kraken going to go to the power play. Cody Glass called for slashing. Bjorky. I'm not going to pick on Bjorky, but he turns it over along the wall up top. Okay, I'm picking on him. But you just can't do this. You cannot turn the puck over on the power play on the wall like that. Nashville pounces Cody Smith. Sends that kind of long, slower type pass up ice. It was a clearing pass, I guess you could call it, and we've got a foot race. Predators win the race to the puck. They make it 1-0. Not too thrilled with that whole thing right there. And you could kind of feel, Sissons gets the goal, by the way. Sorry, on the backhand. But great play by Cody Smith to just send it up the ice. But you just felt like the Kraken were shook after that, in my opinion. Groove follows that up. Big save, keeping it a 1-goal game. And again, Forsberg, a breakaway, a stick save from Groove. So 2 big stops. Kraken chasing the game. In the second period, it really went off the rails. Whatever you want to say, wasn't great. Kraken going to go shorthanded again. Done for cross-checking. He's frustrated. You kind of feel that momentum continuing to shift over to Nashville. This was also a big moment, and the Kraken kill it again. So they're staying in it. Grubauer's keeping them in it. The penalty kills coming through. Hackstall starting to blend the lines up. Nashville just, they took it over in the second. But Grubauer, good job tonight. Somebody buy the guy dinner when you get to St. Louis. And we got to generate some more shots. Shots were 29-18 in favor of Nashville at the end of the second. So Seattle lucky to escape that period, only down 1. So we go to the third. Somehow still a chance at this game. Trying to get something going, Seattle is, but the Predators just keep coming at you. We go 9:57 left on the delayed penalty call. Predators control it. A great retrieval there, too, to keep it in the zone. They cycle it back down low. See, this is where the Squatch Scribbler would come in handy. I don't have it ready yet. My telestrator. It's coming soon, so hang in there, viewers. All 3 of you tonight, I think. Maybe 4. No, 4? Well, anyhow, it doesn't matter. We're having fun. That's what matters. So 9:57, that delayed call, and Nyquist just down low, takes the puck, throws it quickly towards the crease. It bounces in, and there you go, 2-0. Time winding down at this point, and that's pretty much it. Parsonen adds the empty netter. And Yushi Saros with the shutout. Kraken only 23 shots and largely lifeless after giving up that shorthanded goal. I thought that was pretty much the key moment of the game. Everything just kind of went crazy after that, momentum-wise. And there was a few blips of energy. I thought the Kraken kind of tried to push back, but not a whole lot. Not enough, obviously. And Kraken are now 0-2. Nashville gets their first one of the year. Let's look at the game stats. 23 shots for Seattle. We had 35 for Nashville. Face-off percentage, so 44%. And, we're hoping to improve in this area this season. This is a really important metric for Seattle because they've really struggled mightily in the face-off category. About, where they're usually at tonight. Again, 44%. And Nashville winning majority of the draws, 27 out of 48 draws. Power play, both teams 0 for on this, 0 for 2 for Seattle, 0 for 3 Nashville. So got to draw a few more penalties as well. It was just one of those nights. where I didn't think there was a whole lot. It was a fairly clean game in the first, I felt like. But yeah, if you only get 2 power plays, not a whole lot of chances. I think one of Nashville's power plays was split over periods there. That's always kind of tricky too. But Kraken penalty kill has been good. Now we got to find some scoring, whether it's through the power play or not. We got to score some goals. And the best way to do that is by generating shots. Not too bad in the first, terrible in the second. 4 shots in the second, and that's when Nashville really took over. And, okay in the third, 7-7, but 23 shots on goal is not going to win you games. This is great. Thanks, Ty. I guess if we don't score, we don't have to worry about response goals. I agree. That's great. Kraken are known for allowing, and scoring response goals, but not tonight. Okay, down here hiding, I have the game flow. Guys, this tells you everything you need to know. Who would you think won the game if you looked at that graph? And, pretend the little dots aren't there. The 3 little dots that tell you when Nashville scored the goals. But this tells the whole story. Fairly even first period. Nashville, they kind of took things over a little bit, I guess, halfway through the first. But I thought the first was, a really good competitive period. But after that, it's just like, holy cow. My goodness. Kraken, a few minutes into the third there. That's where I think that was the power play that Cynthia was talking about. But that's just, it's a picture worth, a few words. You don't even need 1,000 words. It's just a few words. Kraken, not great tonight. That's all the words you need for this recap. Okay, 3 stars. Obviously, these are all Nashville Predators. UC Saros, 23 saves. They were good saves, but the Kraken didn't really make life too terribly difficult on him. Colton Sissons, 2nd star. He had 1 goal. And Nyquist, the other goal, so he gets the 3rd star. So that's it, you guys. That's tonight's live stream. I can't say I'm too thrilled with the Kraken so far, but I'm gonna stay patient. So no, if you were wondering, the answer to my question over on x.com, is the sky falling? No, it's not falling. It's never falling here on my channel. I don't usually get too wound up, but I don't know. I just think that if this is your interview or your audition, or putting your best foot forward for the season, it hasn't been spectacular by any means. I thought the Vegas game was tough, but tonight I was hoping for a little bit more of a response, a consistent game, and we didn't get it. So let's see what they can do Saturday. I'm hopeful, but I'm a little grumpy about it. So Blues Saturday, 5 p.m. That should be a great one. St. Louis, never a pushover. And then the home opener Tuesday, you guys. Climate Pledge Arena versus the Colorado Avalanche. I'm going to be there. I hope you're going to be there. It should be a great night. And if the Kraken come home 0-3, that's fine, because we are going to have their back, and we're going to take the roof off of that place and get them going, get them their first win of the year if that's the case. But I think they're going to do much better on Saturday against St. Louis. So I expect them to come home with a win in their pocket. See what happens. Hurricanes on the 19th of October. Oh my gosh, October is almost like halfway through. Rangers on the 21st. Red Wings back out on the road on the 24th. Yes, Cynthia, correct. Yep, Nyquist was kind of down low in the corner there. It looked like he was going to do a cross ice kind of through the crease pass, but it ended up hitting the Kraken defenseman right in front of the net and bounced in. So kind of an unlucky one, but they were also about to go shorthanded if they hadn't scored there too. So who knows? 1 goal, 1 bounce. Sometimes hockey is just a game of inches, game of bounces, and that's why you got to really assert yourself earlier on in a game. Try to take control of it so you're not chasing, and the Kraken were certainly chasing most of tonight. So that's the stream for tonight, you guys. Just a quick reminder, keep up over on x.com. In the meantime, we like to do the game day prediction threads. Unfortunately, nobody picked the right answer today because nobody scored for the Kraken. Nobody usually picks for the other team because that's no fun. Just a reminder too, if you don't check out the podcast, please do that in your favorite app. Lots of audio episodes over there and great exclusive content that I do just on the podcast as well at times. Great stories to tell. And thank you guys for being here tonight. I've had a great time chit-chatting with you, and I'm hoping the Kraken can get this sorted out here on Saturday. That's going to do it for tonight's show. Thank you guys for being in the chat. Can't wait to see you after a win next time. Let's focus on that, and maybe a couple of guests on the next show. I'll let you know over on x.com. Have a great night, and we'll catch you again here on Sasquatch NHL. Another stream real soon.